Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. Now I've decided to continue my review of all the GTR badged cars currently within Gran Turismo 7 as of update 1.31. Now after the last video, which was actually reviewing the R34 GTR, we're now moving on to a brand new generation with, well, the R35 GTR. The R35 GTR is one of the original supercar killers in my opinion, a sports car that can, well, pretty much take down a number of much more expensive vehicles. But let's see what it's like within GT7. So first of all, if you haven't already got one of these, you can buy one from the Nissan dealership for 94,770 credits, which is rather cheap from a performance standpoint. This is a turbocharged car with four-wheel drive putting out 564 brake horsepower, so not too shabby for that price point. However, do note you get one free, and I believe cafe menu number 35, which focuses around the GTR. So in terms of Gran Turismo 7, what is this car really like? Now this is obviously not the original R35 GTR model. This is actually the facelifted model from 2017 onwards. We don't actually have the pre-facelift version currently within GT7, unless you kind of look back at, say, like the 2013 GTR Group 3. However, I'm not going to count that. We just don't have the bog standard road car version. So obviously at the point that this car released, it already had the reputation of being a bit of a supercar killer. It was kind of the swan song from Japan. It was, you know, this ultimate computer car. It was four-wheel drive, had ridiculous amount of sort of, you know, kind of tech inside it. Oh, but, you know, when this kind of model came along, it was starting to begin to feel a little outdated, and the facelift did kind of spruce up this model. I guess in its early years, I'd honestly say at this point, the R35 GTR is still going, and it's had again another bit of a makeover, but it's beginning to feel a little bit tired in my honest opinion. We definitely need to move on to another GTR model. I think, you know, it's had a good run from, I believe, like 2006 to 2007 time all the way up to present day. We're currently in 2023, and this car is again getting another bit of a styling update. It's gone through multiple different horsepower outputs, multiple different, you know, kind of spin-off models. You've got the Nismo, some track editions, I believe, and in my honest opinion at this point, the R35 GTR is just not really the car it was upon release. There has been other cars come along that's kind of took away from what really made this car so impressive, was the fact that it was rather affordable, I guess, in a sense, maybe not to the everyday man, but for those people that wanted performance cars anyway, and it could pretty much take down a bunch of much more prestigious brands, I guess, which is kind of not what the GTR was all about, in my honest opinion. You know, for me, the GTR was all about, you know, its track heritage, and there was always cool cars. However, in my opinion, they were never on the level of what the R35 was. It was essentially a full-blown sports car that could slay things 10 times more powerful. Or I guess you could say more prestigious, you know, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, all that good stuff. Around the track, this was a absolutely amazing machine when it first released, and it was for many, many years. Many people, I guess at this point, must have grown up around the R35 and probably massively appreciate it, maybe them, I guess more so than someone like me who grew up around the R33, R34 era, and, you know, kind of has a different appreciation for the GTR badge in, I guess, different ways. So enough of all the details about the GTR and the R35 and all that good stuff, whatever you want to call it. For the sake of this video, I will call it the GTR. Let's talk about it purely within GT7. This is a poster car. You know, it's very much closely related to Gran Turismo as a whole. It's appeared in a ton of places, not necessarily this premium 2017 edition we have, but it's still the R35. You know, it's very much a car ingrained in Gran Turismo at this point. And in all honesty, maybe it's just the physics changes, as we are continuing this series on a whole new physics engine at this point, or, you know, after the changes, should I say. This car really doesn't do what you kind of expect it to do. Whilst it's still fast, it does feel very, very weighty, and I don't think this is the best model to show off really what the R35 is about. The Nismo that will come tomorrow in its own review is definitely the model to go for. Obviously you do get this car for free, and there is a ton of potential there However, if you drive the Nismo, then go back to the premium edition of the R35 facelift, in all honesty, you will probably feel, I guess, bitterly disappointed. It kind of just misses that kind of edge that the Nismo does have. So, in my honest opinion, if you were going to use this car, you certainly want to modify it. And, well, that's what we're going to do. This is a road car, so it does qualify for the modified lap times. But overall, from standard, this is not a bad performing car, not by any means at all. Whilst it does kind of feel maybe not as special as it once did when it first appeared in racing games as a whole, when it was the pre-facelift model and the GTR was all the rave, you know, kind of now it's kind of dwindled down and been caught up by cars over the year. So it really doesn't kind of feel too special, and I think that's where the whole JDM customization tuning world will come in and will make this one of the actual best free cars you can get within GT7. So bear that in mind. From standard, it's probably not going to blow your mind. Whilst it is still a performance car at heart, it doesn't feel too special these days. However, get this thing modified and trust me, it is a completely different machine. In fact, it's almost a rocket ship, putting out over 900 brake horsepower, close to 1,000 brake horsepower. It really is something that really needs to be seen to be believed, and I will show you that a little bit later on. But in my honest opinion, the standard GTR, whilst it's a good free car to get, it's very well, you know, balanced for performance and such. I do think it's kind of took a hit with the new physics. Maybe it's still just kind of me trying to adjust and stuff. The car doesn't feel as throwable as it once was, and it certainly isn't the kind of R35 model you really want to be using. That certainly goes to the Nismo that, like I said, will be featured tomorrow on the channel. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and see how the R35 GTR lines up on our overall Nürburgring lap time. So even with a couple of mistakes, this car completed the Nürburgring in the 600 pp category in 15th place with a time of 7 minutes 36.148. Take away about 5 seconds for that for the mistakes, and it is certainly a very good performing car. Quite easily faster than the Alfa Romeo Giulia and just under the 911 GT3 RS, probably by, you know, a good few seconds. So overall, a very reasonable performing car as standard. So with the R35 being a GTR, well, or it is called the GTR, and obviously qualifying as a road car, this means we can massively customize it, and well, it's absolutely incredible. There's no other way to put it. In terms of a free gift car that you get some performance mods on this car and it becomes a whole different machine. It's absolutely fantastic. And even in terms of real life, if you go ahead and go on the other sides of YouTube and type in 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 brake horsepower GTRs, you will be thrown up a ton of results. This is at heart, in my opinion, a proper modifiable, customizable car, and there is some incredible builds out there that I recommend you checking out. But how is it fully modified within GT7? In my honest opinion, it is fantastic, if not the best modified car I've actually tested so far. And in terms of its performance, it actually shows. It's incredible through the corners, it has incredible acceleration, incredible top speed, and puts out nearly 1,000 brake horsepower. This thing is a pure track menace, and whilst it is still putting out some ridiculous power figures and it is ridiculously overpowered, it's still very much controllable, which in my opinion takes it not only a step above the R34, but it absolutely decimates it in terms of modifiable cars within GT7. In my opinion, the R34 was fantastic, but this thing just takes it a step and then another 3 steps above it. It's just that good. So overall, this is a fantastic choice, a fantastic free car, and I fully recommend ignoring the standard version and going full-blown modified. So let's check how it did on our overall modified lap time leaderboard. It came in 2nd place, only just narrowly missing out on 1st place, which I actually think kind of was my fault for a bit of an error at the first main corner of the high speed ring, where it kind of goes banked and left and back around on yourself. So it came overall with a 1 minute 2 seconds .278, narrowly missing out on the Bugatti Chiron. So in my honest opinion, this is the ultimate modified car within GT7, at least so far. I've tested a bunch of cars, and in my honest opinion, the R35 GTR is just an incredible machine. You know, if you haven't already got one, get through the cafe menu, get your free model, and if you want, even buy another. It's a relatively cheap priced car. It doesn't cost too much to get this ridiculous horsepower figure of nearly 1,000 brake horsepower, and it is honestly one of the most versatile, incredible builds I think I've ever tested. So in my overall honest opinion, this is certainly the best modified car I've tested so far, and even better is the fact that it is free. So in all honesty, get this one customized, put out those stupid amounts of brake horsepower and just have some fun. Give this car a proper good thrashing, and honestly, you may actually, even if you don't like the GTR badge, you may start thinking differently. I fully recommend this car. So I have returned after being away, so massive thank you to everybody that's kind of been patient and, you know, put up with the delays of coming back and such. I've been away for around about a week, but yeah, I honestly do thank you for returning and catching back up with the channel. I'll have plenty more videos now each and every day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.